everybody. Welcome to another special edition of Hashing Out the Law. This is Meet the CCBA. Today, my guest is Juanita Kay-Duran. Hi, Juanita. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
We're actually doing an in-person one. This is the first one we've done in person. I'm in Juanita's office, and as you guys can tell, Juanita went to UCLA. Juanita, you are a member of the board. You're one of the newest members of the board.
I am.
Could you tell us when you joined the board, please?
I joined the board about 2 months ago.
And why did you join the board?
I joined the board because I think it's important to have a bridge between the courts and the communities that we serve. So as an attorney, I believe that being part of the board, I can reach or attain that purpose.
Awesome. Now, Juanita, I ask a lot of similar questions to all my guests. Excuse me. I'm going to start with, tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you're originally from, where you grew up, and things like that.
So, I was born in LA, specifically Santa Monica.
Okay.
My parents are from Mexico. My mother's from Zacatecas, and my dad is from Jalisco.
Okay.
I come from a family of 6. I was raised in Southern California.
So you are a native. You're an
Yes.
LA native. Okay. Believe it or not, that's kind of rare nowadays when you meet an LA native. So you were born in Santa Monica. You grew up in LA. Where did you go to high school?
I went to 3 high schools.
Wow. Okay. Should we ask why 3 high schools? Are we gonna find some deep, dark secret that you got kicked out or something?
No, I
Okay.
definitely did not get kicked out. My parents moved around while I was in high school.
Okay.
And so it just happened to be that I went to a school in West LA. So that was University High School. And then I went to Inglewood High School for a semester. Didn't like the education there and finished my high school last year at Venice High School.
Okay, so if I asked you what your high school is and you had to choose one, you would say Venice?
No, I would say University High School in West LA.
Okay. University High School. Okay. And then you went to UCLA for
I did.
undergrad.
Mhm.
And then where'd you go to law school?
I went to 3 law schools.
Seems like the number 3 has a very, very distinct position in your education. So what law school did you go to?
I started my law school education at Lewis and Clark Law School in Portland, Oregon. And from there, I did my 3rd year of law school at Southwestern in LA and finished up my law school education at Pepperdine in Malibu.
Okay. And after law school, what was your first job as a lawyer?
After law school, my first job as a lawyer was working at one of the biggest firms in downtown LA. So I was a workers' compensation attorney at a big firm.
How did you like doing workers' comp? How was that?
It was interesting. It was definitely not the right fit for me. If you read my personal statement that I drafted for law school and my reasons for going to law school, it didn't match what I was doing. So I was not particularly in love with what I was doing at the time.
Okay, so you're working as a new lawyer. You're working in this big firm, workers' comp. Something clicks in your head that you don't want to do workers' comp, and you want to go into criminal.
That is correct.
So what happened that made you want to go into criminal?
Well, during law school.
So let me change the question up.
Okay.
Because I can see that you're having a little bit. What was it? What clicked in your mind that said, I don't want to do workers' comp. I want to do criminal law. What was that? What clicked in your head?
Right. So I wasn't happy with what I was doing. I knew that I had a passion for criminal law because when I was in law school, I was a volunteer, law clerk at the DA's office in Portland. at the Monoma County District Attorney's Office, and I was on their trial team.
I'm sorry, what county was that?
Monoma County.
Where is that?
That's in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the DA's office there. And what I realized is that I had a passion for criminal law. I loved being in the courtroom. Every case is a little bit different, so going to work was different kind of every day, and I really liked and enjoyed that type of work. It just happened to be that during law school, I scored one of the highest grades in workers' compensation, and I was offered a Big Four job with a high salary, and I couldn't turn that down. But I quickly realized that I needed to go back to criminal law.
Okay. And then, so you leave the workers' comp, you start criminal law, and did you start off on your own right away, or did you work for someone else?
No, I worked for somebody else. I actually started doing appearance work for a firm in LA, and I was going to every court that there was in LA County, and sometimes Orange County as well. Okay,
awesome. And then at one point, you started your own practice and running off since.
Yeah, so I worked, I eventually got hired on as an attorney at this firm. I wasn't doing special appearance attorneys and special appearance. I wasn't just specially appearing for the firm. I actually got hired on. And I started working specifically in Orange County. And I did that for, I want to say 5 years. And I realized that I just wanted to have more control of my schedule and the way I handled my cases, and I needed a little bit more freedom too, because I had twins, and so that's how I ended up deciding to open up my own firm.
Now, I know that the practice of law across the state of California is almost the same, but each county has their own little nuances.
Right.
Now, how did you like Orange County? Because personally, I don't like the way Orange County. And if there's any Orange County people out there, or if any judges, prosecutors, I love you guys. But I personally didn't like, or I don't like the way Orange County system is kind of run. How did you like that, and how would you compare it to LA County?
So, I did very little special appearance work in LA. So when I started working Orange County, to me that was normal.
Right.
So to me it was fine. I mean, the DAs were a little bit more conservative, but they were still kind of friendly. And you always get in every profession, you'll get like the mean DA, or so I think, and you experienced that in LA as well. Sentencing, though, however, between now working both counties a lot, I realized that the sentencing with respect to some of my clients is a lot more lenient than compared to Orange County.
Right.
I could say like drug sales cases here in LA, you get community service or possession, and in Orange County, no, they really slam the book on you.
Well, you're absolutely right. Well, I was more talking about the day-to-day court procedures, like when you go to court and you check in and stuff like that. But you're absolutely right. All the surrounding counties they're all different from LA. But now, Juanita, let's diverge a little bit. You said you have twins, so you are a working mother. You have twins and you work. How would you, or what advice would you give to those mothers out there, or people or women out there who have children that want to be their own businesswoman, not necessarily a lawyer, but they want to start their own business? Mm-hmm. What advice would you have for them?
Connect with other women who also have children and own businesses and get advice from them. It's going to be hard, but it's totally doable. And I mean, really, that's it. Just kind of networking with other women and knowing that it's going to be hard, but you're going to get the flexibility needed to, for example, participate in school activities or do things with your children where otherwise you couldn't do if you're working for somebody.
Right.
Because this is your schedule and deal with it. But when you are your own boss, you dictate that schedule. And obviously, you still have to put in the work. I mean, I do work a lot.
Right, you're a very hard worker.
I'm working all the time. But I think the benefits definitely outweigh like the negative consequences of having your own business.
Okay. Now, Juanita, let's go back a little bit. You're a young lady. You're in school.
Thank you. Oh, okay. I thought you were calling me young now. Okay.
So you're young now too.
Thank you.
But let's go back when you're younger.
Okay.
You're in school. You're like in elementary school. What do you want to do when you grow up? When you're a little girl?
Oh, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be an asthma doctor.
Okay.
Because I suffer from asthma.
Okay. And then at one point, did you decide that you want to go to law school and be a lawyer?
It was when my older brother continued to get in trouble with the law. I seen how difficult it was for my family to get help for him, or good help for him. And then also seeing him struggle. He was young, had kids, and when he was taken into custody, I just seen how he was stripped of his rights to see his children. And I basically said I wanted to become a family lawyer.
So at this point, when you decide you want to be a lawyer, how old are you approximately?
I was a little bit older. I was in my 20s, like 20, 23.
Okay. So in your 20s, you decided you want to be a lawyer. When you were much younger, you wanted to be an asthma doctor. In between, did you change your mind?
So, no. So there was hints that I wanted to become a lawyer throughout.
Okay.
But I didn't make that formal decision until I was older, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And tell me one thing you love about the practice of law.
Being able to impact people's lives by using my skills that I learned in law school and also my experiences of growing up in a Mexican family, and just being able to like get good results for my clients and make their lives a little bit better despite them making one mistake or despite being falsely accused. Because whatever it is, either if you're falsely accused or made one mistake, the stress is still the same. You're still facing the weight of the legal system against you. And I always tell my clients that it takes a team to defend against that. It really does.
It does. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot. Same question in reverse. What is one thing you hate about the legal practice?
That's an interesting question. I don't think I hate it. I think it's a dislike. It's just the stress involved with not just work, but just being able to juggle everything together and still go to court and put on your game face. I think that's one of the things that's difficult to deal with. It's part of the territory, though. That's one thing I dislike about it. I know another one.
I only asked for one, but okay. Give us another one.
So one of the things, you'll get a client who says, or a potential client, I'm hiring a lawyer, you're going to get me off. And they have these very high expectations, and it doesn't always work like that.
Right, I agree with you. It seems like the client has done, or allegedly has done, whatever they wanted to. And they think now that they have a lawyer can make it all go away.
Right.
And it doesn't. We can't change facts, guys. We can't change facts.
We can.
I agree with you.
We could definitely try to see, like if you did something, to try to see if the police dotted their I's, crossed their T's. But if that doesn't work, then we fall back on mitigation, meaning getting together, character letters, who you are, maybe this is your first time, stuff like that. But that's one of the things that's hard to explain to some people.
Right. I agree. Going back to what you were talking about, the stress level, I read this a while ago. Lawyers have the third highest suicide rates in professions. In
I have read that too.
So for all of you that think being a lawyer is easy, it's not. It's very hard.
It's very hard.
not trying to discourage you from going to law school. Which brings me back to my next question. You have a young lady who is from a community, a minority, and she's thinking about going to law school, and she's scared. What advice do you have for her?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was me. So, if you're scared, don't be. Obviously, the path of going to law school requires you to be in school. So if you're in school, try to get involved in any type of pre-law program. I was part of the Law Fellows program at UCLA, and that was designed to demystify the law school process and kind of simulate what law school is about. So I'm pretty sure that they have those programs at schools. I mean, I know the UCLA Law Fellows program is open to students that don't go to UCLA, so you apply for it. Talk to other attorneys. I know social media is big now, and I can tell you I have a Facebook, I have an Instagram, and a lot of the people that I'm friends with are not lawyers, and they reach out to me. So if you see someone on social media, reach out to that person and start making those connections now. You shouldn't be scared. I mean, that was me. I didn't grow up with lawyers. I didn't know one lawyer except the lawyers that were representing some of my family members. And even that was scary. Because you think like, oh my gosh, it's a lawyer and they talk differently. We really don't. Okay. And so that's basically it. Just go out, take that risk. Don't be scared, because not doing anything is not the right decision.
Let me ask you this. If you had to choose any other profession, let's say you can't be a lawyer or you could never be a lawyer, what would you do?
If I couldn't, I would probably go into the medical field.
Asthma doctor?
Probably.
Okay, so now we talked about the law, we talked about all this stuff. Let's talk about you when you're not a lawyer. Mm-hmm. Well, I know you're always a lawyer. But what I mean is, when you're not being a lawyer, when you're not in court, when you don't have your lawyer hat on, what do you like to do? I
actually exercise a lot. But I love the beach.
Okay.
I'm Mexican, and in Mexico, tequila is the drink, and so I like to taste different tequilas, and it kind of just it doesn't matter what type. I just like to taste the taste.
So you're like a tequila connoisseur?
Yeah, not a wine one, but a tequila connoisseur.
So if you had a choice, would you rather be a lawyer or a tequila taster on the beach?
Oh, well, that's a hard question. I'm not answering that one.
All right. Now, Juanita, can you tell us something about you that we wouldn't know if we didn't ask you? Meaning, we couldn't find this about you even if we followed you on social media, even if we read all about you on the internet. Something that we wouldn't know about you unless we personally knew you, or something that you personally told us. Doesn't have to be some big secret. That I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but just tell us an interesting fact about you that we wouldn't know otherwise.
Oh, that's an interesting question. Well,
I'm gonna give you a second.
Okay. Well, is it funny, or is it anything?
This interview is about you. It could be anything you want it to be. It doesn't have to be some deep, dark secret. It could be just something funny, a funny story, some interesting fact, funny fact, something about you that we wouldn't know.
Okay. So, I love peanut butter. And sometimes at night, like when I'm working, I'll just have like peanut butter by itself. Anything with like chocolate and peanut butter, like I'm there.
Okay. Now that leads me to another question. Have you ever had peanut butter tequila? Does it even exist?
No, I don't even want to taste that, actually. I'm not a tequila connoisseur anymore. No.
Wait, I thought you would love that, tequila and peanut butter combined.
Maybe. I'll try it one day.
I don't even know if it exists, but
if
it doesn't, that's a business idea, and I thought of it first if you try to steal it.
You can take it.
Juanita, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time in the middle of the day. It's Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone.
Thank you for taking the time for allowing us to interview you to get to know you a little bit better. Now, one last question I have for you is, I am a lawyer and I'm thinking about joining the Criminal Courts Bar Association, but I'm on the fence. What would you tell me to convince me to join the association?
Well, as a lawyer, your education doesn't stop there. You don't go to law school and, okay, I'm done with school. You have to continue your education. And I think that being part of the CCBA, we provide that. We'll provide CLE programs, continuing legal education. And right now it's during COVID, and so they're done online. But we're moving toward face-to-face events very soon. And so I think it's important that if you're a lawyer to become part of this organization, because not only do you get to meet other wonderful people like you.
Thank you.
But you could, basically with these continuing legal education courses, satisfy that requirement. And so that's one big reason. And the second reason is just because the CCBA is awesome.
I agree with both those. You get 12 in-person CLEs a year when you're a member, and the events are very interesting. We have very great speakers. We have the DAs of LA County and other people. And yes, it is an awesome organization. Juanita, thank you again. It was a pleasure. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. You can find Juanita through all her social media. We'll be sure to tag her on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and if you need to reach out to her, all the information will be available. Thank you, Juanita.
Thank you for having me. Bye, everyone.